Crummer was one of the best kept secrets in Florida. I had never heard of Rollins College or Crummer, but I had fantastic friends who were meeting with me in international conferences and stuff like this, and one of them was an emeritus professor in here, and he still is, a reference for me. He's a role model for me. His name is Martin Starr. He's one of the pioneers in the field of operations management. Believe you or not, one of the first books on operations management that I studied with in my undergraduate degree at the University of São Paulo was The Star. We called it The Star. 20 years later, I met him in person. I was very, impressed by him, of course, and very happy to meet him in person. And we sort of started this friendship. And in one of his visits to Brazil, he went to have lunch at home, and we expressed to him our intention to explore other possibilities for raising our kids and so on. At that time, São Paulo was a pretty violent city to live in, and my kids were growing. And I was considering going to Spain to teach in a business school there called IE Business School. And he said to me, "Why don't you consider Crummer?" I said, "I don't know much about it. Maybe I'm not, a good fit for Crummer or for an American institution, because my whole, background, academic background was in Europe." He said, "No, I think you would be a great fit." So I said, "In a couple of years, one of our professors will be retiring, and if you're interested, we might talk about it." I said, "Yeah, sure." And that was exactly like this. 2 years after, he called me and he said, "Are you interested? Remember our talk 2 years ago?" I said, "Yeah, sure. So just come over and visit." So when I came here, it was quite a surprise, and a very pleasant surprise, because I don't even have to tell you about the beauty of this campus and the quality and high caliber of everybody who's around here. So I started meeting people that I knew already from, references and stuff. And I said, "Are these guys here really?" And then they started talking to me about the whole philosophy and the whole mission of the college, and Crummer in particular, and the vision they had and the mission they had and so on. And I found it fascinating, because I said, "Well, are you serious? Do you have classes that are limited to 40-something people?" Because in large institutions, and my institutions were large, you teach 100, 120 or something like this. The possibility that you actually establish personal relationships with the students are very limited, because you have 1.5 hours twice a week to meet 120 people. It's very hard for you even to get to know their names during the course. So in here, even if the administrators want to put more people in there, and I understand the pressures they're under to put more people in the classroom, they can't, because we're limited. It's just 40 people. And when we have classes that are limited to 40 people, but in general they average 25, that's the very ideal number of people for you to have in the classroom. Because at the same time you have the cross-fertilization of ideas and questions and stuff like this. You have that critical mass for people to learn from each other. And at the same time, it allows you to have this individual approach with the students. My students now, I'm teaching 3 classes, 20-something people each this very semester. And I already know, it's the 4th week of classes, and I already know at least 70% of them by name, and I know what they intend to do with their careers. I know where they work. I know what their interests are, and I can, help them much better if I know them. I can, call it customize, their education experience. So I've had, talks today. I had talks with 2 different people who came to my office saying, I'm interested in a career in operations. Can you give me some pointers and how do I get an internship and so on. And I stayed for an hour and a half talking to these guys and putting them in contact with my previous contacts, with my current contacts and so on. So this type of experience and relationship, if you appreciate this, if you are a professor who actually values this, I mean, it's priceless for you to work in a place like this. So it was, for me, it was a no-brainer to come. When they gave me an offer, I said, yeah, I'm going. I'm packing my bags. And family was pretty happy as well.